Welcome everybody, my name is Michael and it has been brought to my attention that Trevon James is no longer on YouTube with us. Trevon James, if you remember the BitConnect gang, including Crypto Nick, who disappeared quite a while ago, and Craig Grant, all three of these individuals have been in court before 3 years ago due to BitConnect falling apart and being major players in both recruiting people through affiliate marketing tactics and links, but also being a part of it as an investor. And if you can't remember exactly what BitConnect was, on Kubera we discussed Regal Coin, BitConnect, Control Finance, Laser Online. That was one of the better ones. There was hundreds of these HYIPs, high yield investment programs, and 99.99% of them were scams, including cloud mining scams, trading bot scams, all types of scams where people would invest money and they'd be guaranteed an amount that they would make per week, per month, per year. A lot of people got greedy because they started seeing these crazy profits. They'd reinvest, and suddenly, before you know it, within a few weeks or months, these Ponzi schemes, these pyramid schemes would end up collapsing, and some of these would end up being valued at a few $1 billion, and BitConnect was one of the largest ones. There was also OneCoin. We can do a video on that on another day, but let's just look at what BitConnect was, and then let's discuss Trevon James and what I personally think of his channel getting removed from YouTube. So there was a fair amount of news about BitConnect, and there were actual arrests in Australia and in India, so it wasn't just in America that there was a lot of action. John Bigatano has been charged with operating an unregistered managed investment scheme, providing unlicensed financial services, and making false or misleading statements. The charges each bring a possible maximum prison term of 2 to 10 years, as well as possible monetary penalties of up to $58,500. At the height of BitConnect, it was worth $2.5 billion in its total market cap, right around when Bitcoin was reaching its all-time high in December 2017. BitConnect was set up as a crypto lending scheme, but had a multi-level marketing structure and touted unfeasibly high payouts, which we're able to see here. If you put in anywhere from $100 to $1,000, after 299 days, you would get up to 40% per month. This is incredible in a single year, let alone an entire month. $1,000 to $5,000, you would get an additional 0.1% daily, and you would be able to get your capital back earlier. $5,000 to $10,000, 0.2% daily additional, and after 179 days, and over $10,010 between $100,000. I'm sure that if you invested more than $100,000, they also had some crazy plans and secret stuff because the alleged affiliate marketers and promoters definitely had some sweet deals, and I'm sure some of the larger investors were invited out to these conferences where there was video footage of some of these promoters, of some of these investors getting Rolexes, getting invited to lavish parties. And of course, BitConnect could afford all this because they were making billions of dollars. After 120 days, you would get 40% per month plus an additional 0.25% daily. That is just, it's simply greed. So anyone who's involved in this as an investor, as a promoter, there was a lot of greed going on, and some people lost their entire life fortunes and even went massively into debt. Which, you know, obviously every single time you go into a Ponzi scheme, you have to be very, very careful. And all these victims will range from ages to different backgrounds. But the simple truth of it is they would have made a lot more money had they just kept it all in Bitcoin. And a lot of these guys wanted to beat Bitcoin's interest. They wanted to go way beyond what they were making. And it's just not possible in normal markets, even in cryptocurrency where you see huge volatile gains. You will never, ever get something like this on a consistent basis. You might get it once per month if you get really, really lucky. And the worst part is it's guaranteed. You can't guarantee anything. There is no guarantees in the investment or in cryptocurrency world. Vitalik Buterin, concerned, tweeted out, if 1% per day is what they offer, then that's a Ponzi scheme. And they were offering even more than 1%. And here's their whole affiliate program where people at the very top of the pyramid would get paid the most amount of BCC. And it was one of the 20th biggest cryptocurrencies back then. Here's Trevon James. BitConnect promoter claims FBI investigating defunct crypto scheme. And they did investigate. And Trevon James alongside the BitConnect gang were all called into court. The SEC wasn't pleased as well. Infamous BitConnect shill Trevon James turns attention to Hex. And I have to give him this. He was promoting a lot on Steemit, on Library, which is now Odyssey, and that's how I found out about this. Alongside a commenter on one of my latest videos, I saw this. I miss YouTube, and I didn't bother clicking on it because I don't really care. This is on Odyssey, so this is what Library is transforming into. And Trevon James, I'll give him this. He's posting a lot. He's posting daily, consistent content. He's getting a lot of views, and then he got banned. And here he is on Twitter, Hex Connect. He's kind of pointing fun at the fact that he was promoting BitConnect. And as a lot of these BitConnect promoters, even though they defrauded investors of millions and millions of dollars, and they themselves made millions of dollars and promoted their own lavish lifestyles, and being so confident that whatever they're promoting isn't a scam, even though Trevon James also promoted Regal Coin immediately after BitConnect, and Regal Coin was another scam. Ultimately, I'm surprised that Trevon James is still around because Crypto Nick immediately disappeared. Craig Grant, well, he took a bit of an interesting route. He was always a little bit weird where he had one channel and there he wouldn't post anything about cryptocurrency. He would sing in his videos and just post random clips, and all right, people would go on over there and they'd be wondering, well, why isn't he in jail and why isn't Trevon James in any trouble? So probably they didn't do as much illegal stuff as the actual people who were employees of BitConnect themselves. But I'm sure that they got into some troubles, and even if they had no fines to pay whatsoever, the lawyer fees certainly were not too pretty. But regardless, it's a little bit fascinating that Trevon James was able to walk out of this, unlike everyone else who was pretty much promoting it. And he got over 100,000 subscribers. I think it was close to 150,000 subscribers when his channel was banned. He was promoting content daily. He was making a lot of money from promoting Hex. He was promoting a lot of other shadier projects that usually people would kind of stay away from. And you have to do your own research on Hex. But BitConnect 100% was a scam. There's no way to say, oh, it wasn't. No, had no idea what was going on. The way these guys made millions of dollars was mainly through promotion of BitConnect through their links. They would invest their gains, but these gains had to come from somewhere. Most of the money came from YouTube. It came from promoting through their YouTube channels and through Steemit and Library and all these other decentralized social media platforms on Twitter. Wherever they could, they'd go to conferences, and they weren't really seen as the good guys. A lot of people inside the cryptocurrency world thought they were pretty shady. There were a lot of shills back on YouTube. There were a lot of YouTubers who promoted crappy projects. But there's a difference between promoting a crappy project that goes bankrupt, that had good intentions and wasn't doing anything illegal, and a project that was investigated by the FBI. There were arrests made and they outright just stole money. Sure, you lose money in both cases, but in one, you made an investment and it failed. In the other, you were just scammed. You had your funds stolen. Nothing was going to happen with that money besides land in the pockets of the founders. They were spending it. They were spending it like crazy. They had crazy parties. If you remember the BitConnect screaming guy, those things weren't cheap. They were flying around influencers everywhere. So to see now that his channel is banned, a lot of people are praising YouTube. They're like, oh, finally. And I thought I'd report on this since I had so many videos about BitConnect and control finance and warning a lot of people about Laser Online and all these HYPs on Kubera, and now I'm warning on this channel as well. This stuff, you have to really look out for them. Of course, there's always going to be scams, whether it's in cryptocurrency, whether it's in a normal financial world. There's always going to be scam artists, and there's always going to be the promoters. And before you invest any hard-earned money, you have to do your own research. But also watch out for any influencer who's going on and on and on about the same project and praising it. And then you see some pretty bad reviews and you're wondering to yourself, hey, what's going on? It's a little suspicious. How much money is this guy earning? Is he getting paid? Is he shilling? So this is what YouTube gave, a pretty generic message. Thank you for your account suspension appeal. We have decided to keep your account suspended based on our community guidelines in terms of service. Some people suspect it's because he had a DeFi project of the day, just as John McAfee had his own project of the day back in 2018 and 17 on Twitter. And maybe he was getting paid for a lot of projects and he wasn't revealing that on YouTube, even though you have to now. Shout out to Low Roller Scratcher who told me to look into this. But my own opinion might surprise you, actually. Even though he certainly was in on BitConnect, I have no idea to which point. Obviously, there was a lot of people. He was small fish compared to the other founders and employees, actually. He was just a marketer. So the fact that he's not in jail right now does prove that, you know, there were plenty of worse crimes to be made with BitConnect. And He's doing all right, but I don't think YouTube punished him for what happened back then. I think YouTube just randomly decided to ban based off of some videos, and it's kind of unclear what's going on exactly. And this is a little bit terrifying for the cryptocurrency community. Maybe Trevon James is going to get his YouTube channel back, but regardless of whatever happens, I'm not celebrating the fact that he had his YouTube channel removed. I don't think people should be censored. And if they did something illegal and they were caught, and if they went to jail, then that's a different story. But even then, you shouldn't really be censored. That's my own opinion. I think YouTube should give clear and concise reasons for bans and have a easy to appeal process where sometimes it's a little difficult. Cryptocurrency is a lot less controversial, but Trevon James was one of the most controversial cryptocurrency YouTube channels there was, obviously due to the past. So despite some people celebrating, and I'm not on Trevon James's side because I do think he was involved in something pretty shady, and he did cause a lot of misfortune to a lot of people, but I don't think he deserves to lose his YouTube channel. Man, that might be a controversial opinion, but if he loses a YouTube channel, just like with President Trump losing his Twitter, anyone's able to lose their YouTube account, Twitter account, Instagram account, any social media platform that you go to. And if we're in cryptocurrency, we should really care about this stuff. There's a lot of people celebrating, but they don't realize they might be next tomorrow. And the reason that they gave, thank you for your account suspension appeal, we have decided to keep your account suspended, it's so vague, it's a robotic response. There's no human behind that at this point. And I understand it's a pretty big company, but for large creators, especially for people who are over 100,000 subscribers, where you have the check mark, I think they should have, some other process of going about it, because sometimes I know that YouTube makes mistakes with bans. I know it myself personally. I've had YouTube apologize. I've had strikes that were just removed and everything was okay, but it was so frustrating to go through that. So that's my opinion about Trevon James. Maybe he gets his channel back, maybe not, but that's today's video. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button. See you guys tomorrow, and leave down in the comment section below what you think about this situation. Have a good one. Bye.